she's wifey material, so I gotta treat her with respect. But this is gonna sound ridiculous, and maybe I just need the help. I have opinions, and I probably should share mine on the internet, right? Y'all, my shelves are still a hot mess. Don't look at them. In today's video, we are finishing the book Unhaul. This is something I tried a few years back. Try a chapter unhaul. I often have a lot of books on my shelves that I purchased years ago, and then I'm like not excited for them anymore. This is a way of either reigniting the flame of excitement for me, or being like, oh, I don't think I'm ever going to be excited about this again. Let me unhaul it and give it to someone else who would vastly enjoy it more than me. I did mention the books that I was going to try and read during my first unhaul, but I did add a book that I'm really nervous about because it's romance, but someone commented on my unhaul videos saying that I should really give it a chance and try the audiobook, so I'm gonna. This has truly become my favorite reading spot in my whole room. Yay. So let's start with our first book and read a chapter. Which book? Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna start with this book. It's the last book in a series that I enjoyed, but just don't have really any curiosity to finish it. I'm the type of person who will watch like 80% of a show and not finish it because I have no curiosity to see how it ends. I know, it's barbaric of me. I'm sorry. So let's start with A Kata Woman. Please. A Kata Woman by Nnedi Okorafor. So this is the third book in a series, so I can't really go too much into the plot. It's very much the HP style of stories where it's a magical kid who didn't realize they have powers and they join a secret society and figure out how to use their powers, but they're also like the chosen one and they're meant to save everybody. And you know, that's not a lot of pressure. I will say the first book, it had a really fun element that most books do not, where it has like an instruction manual of how not to like be a bad magician or whatever. Let the reader beware. This series just has so many fun aspects that are beyond just telling you the story. Greetings from the OB Library Collection of Leopard Knox Department of Responsibility. We are a busy organization, yet here we are again on orders of the head librarian to alert you, to warn you, to help you be aware. If you are uncomfortable around powers that zip, buzz, creep, swell on this planet and beyond, if you don't want to know, if you don't want to listen, good. Okay. I just love that. Sincerely, the Department of Responsibility. Very fun. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read the first chapter.
Juju Karin. Sincerely, the OB Library Collective of Evil.
Okay, reading that first chapter definitely got me excited to finish this series. I have no idea where it's gonna go, to be honest. The first chapter was basically like a lesson into some harder juju, some harder magic to control. And the warning, I think, at the very beginning that I read a little bit to you is just so fun because it like ended in this very scary like, should she have done this thing? Maybe not. Maybe it kills her. Who knows? And I'm just like, you can't kill her. So I am interested in reading this. I just don't know when. This book was definitely a cover buy. It is stunning and beautiful, and it is technically the right season to read this. Justice will reign. So this is Blood Debts. I honestly know nothing about this besides that I think it also has a lot of magic. 30 years ago, a young woman was murdered, a family was lynched, and New Orleans saw the greatest magical massacre in its history. In the days that followed, a throne was stolen from a queen, till by chance they discovered their mother isn't sick, she's cursed. I mean, it sounds interesting. I just like, when it comes to like murder mysteries, they can be hit or miss for me. I feel like the great thing about me being on YouTube and BookTube, and it's just like, I have been slowly learning what I enjoy about books, and that's the thing. It's like movies and art. It's very subjective, even though there's obviously like maybe an objective good or bad, like when something is well written versus not, like grammatically, all that jazz. But subjectively, like I feel like there's things that I like from art and things that I don't like. Countless people of color have had and continue to find a way to push forward in the wake of the blatant and consistent denial of our rights to exist in peace and equality. Ooh, there's a news excerpt. Y'all, see, this is why you need to just sometimes flip through, spend a day and flip through your TBR and just get really hyped, because I'm hyped. Okay, I had to move because I was getting a little sleepy in the papasan, to be honest. So I made a fresh cup of coffee and finished the first chapter of Blood Debts, which was very interesting because the author's note was talking, and I read a little bit of it to you. This author really navigating injustice and how this was like an exploration of it. So I do feel that kind of intensity. There's a lot of, I feel like, mixed emotions and anxiety our main characters facing, or one of our main characters, because we're following twins. You don't really know what's happened to the relationship, but they've had a falling out. There's a falling out. We don't really understand it. We're starting to learn about it, but he clearly, our main character, has a lot of just distrust and anger either towards himself or others. He feels like all his loved ones abandon him, and obviously his mother, or their mother, is sick and dying. I'm not enjoying the narrative voice too much, just because it's giving YA, like, my sister's so mean to me and me. I think I would still want to read this just to figure out what happens. I'm still intrigued, and that's the whole point of this. It's like, I'm intrigued. Like, do I necessarily, like, this is not higher on the priority list. I have so many fall books that I want to read. I just don't know if this would even make it to the list. The one thing that is making me more curious is the talk of justice, because this is very clearly talking about that. We'll figure it out. Okay, to the next read. Okay, I'm thinking a little bit of a period piece, historical, I don't think it's romance, but it's historical fiction, dazzling and sexy, dangerous and inspiring journey through the speakeasies of jazz age and glamour in the darkness of Hollywood. Roaring Days of Zora Lily. Okay, my camera just cut me off for no good reason. This story seems to play with two timelines. One about a poverty-stricken Zora Hugh who spends her days looking after her younger siblings while sewing up holes and fixing up hems for clients to bring extra money. So it's 1924, and then it also jumps forward to 2023 at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History. A costume conservator found a hidden garment with a name that was beneath the designer label that says Zora Lily, so it's like maybe someone was taking credit for her work. Let's read the first chapter. You know a book is good when the chapter ends and you want to keep reading. This one has the two perspectives, and I just read the one from the current, like the modern timeline, the 2023 timeline, and it just, they're so passionate about fashion and garments. She works at a museum. She's reupholstering garments from the past Hollywood glam, and she finds something that's intriguing and like maybe not historically accurate, or something is amiss. And I'm really interested to hear Zora's story, but this is gonna sound ridiculous, and maybe I just need the help. But Zora, for some reason, I see as a black woman, and I'm like trying to Google and find out, is she black? And I don't know, the cover suggests not, but like, I want Zora, not that I just want her to, I just like, you know, jazz club, speakeasy. I guess in the 1920s, that was what everyone was doing. But I want her to be black so bad. I'm reading and I'm like, where her, if there aren't any traits listed, I guess the assumption is that she's Caucasian, but like, I don't like that. So this, I think, tickles my fiance, and I just love it when people are really, really passionate about something. And I feel like that's the difference between adult fiction and YA fiction, is that YA fiction tends to lean towards, I hate life, I hate the world, why do I have these circumstances? You know, kind of self-pitying, I don't want to be the chosen one, yada yada yada. Very reluctant hero, and you get that in adult fiction too, but often with adult fiction, you get like a purpose. You get like a, I don't have to do X, Y, and Z because the world needs me to. It's, I'm driven to understand this historical wrong that has been done and to fix it and to rectify it because of just my curiosity and passion. You know, I love that, love that. So those are my thoughts. I do think I changed my mind on one of those books. I might be unhauling a book. We'll see. I still have 3 more to go. Okay, let's do this. Fantasy, and some siren fantasy at that, which is Sing Me to Sleep. I remember reading the first like page of this, and it was really funny, about a girl who's trying to lure a guy. It's like her mission to, and she talks about how it's so easy to entice men, and it just sounded very villainous, and I was just like, ooh. I already like the voice of the character. She seems very opinionated, she knows what she wants. So let's read the first chapter. I honestly don't know what this is about. Let's see. As a soldier in training at the most prestigious barricades in the kingdom, oh, how do you say Saronin? However you pronounce that popular actress name, Saronin, lies about being a siren to avoid execution. At night, working as an assassin for a dangerous group of mercenaries, she lies about her true identity. And to her family, she tells the biggest lie of them all, that she can control her siren powers, that doesn't struggle constantly against the impulse to kill. So, a lot of potential here. Let's read the first chapter and get to it. That was a very interesting first chapter. Okay, so the stakes were really nicely introduced. I feel like obviously she seduces a man, kills him, you know, normal siren business, but there's fae also in this world. Fae, I want to say gangs, organizations of sorts, who are paying for her to kill other powerful fae. But you understand why she's doing this, not just for money, but to help her family, and also because as a siren, she is drawn to kill. So she has this kind of internal battle that she's fighting, and that her family calls her out on, like, hey girl, you're gonna get caught, you're gonna die, that's not good. And she's just like, well, we need the money, so let's just keep doing this and hope everything turns out fine. Very interesting. Also, she's gonna join the army, the ranks. Like, she's joining the military of this world, which is very interesting. Because also, being a siren, which I understand to be very, very illegal, it's kind of a dangerous job to try and procure. And she also is apparently graduating in first ranking or first place tomorrow. And there's a concern for the ceremony because it's near water, which might drive her to kill people publicly in front of the military. Just very alluring. Ooh. Okay, I have 2 books left. Let's do, you know what, let's do that one book that I was talking about that I was a little scared of. So this is the one romance in this pile, surprisingly enough. It is by Kennedy Ryan. I actually haven't read any of her work yet. I really do want to read that one that's really popular, that everyone talks about. I have no idea, but a friend gave this to me, and actually the second book in this series, so Block Shot and Hoop Shot, and then I think there's another in the series. It's like a trilogy. We follow different characters. This was first published in 2018, apparently self-published by Kennedy Ryan. So it's really cool to see all these authors who were self-published starting to really get more popularity and traditionally published. Looking closer into these books, I was like, ooh, basketball romance, wasn't feeling it. And then someone, I will put their comment up here, said, girl, you need to read this. I'm paraphrasing, but like that comment made me go, okay, maybe I do need to check it out, because this book could definitely be more than just a basketball romance story. And that's what the comment was really alluding to, like, hey, give it a chance. And I'm like, you know what, I did pick this up specifically because it's Kennedy Ryan, and she's such a prolific romance author, and it is also more than 400 pages long, so I feel like it has a lot of plot and story that goes beyond the typical miscommunication tropes and whatnot. I might still unhaul. Don't hate me, commenter, I'm so sorry. This is a second chance romance with a guy who's like, he assumes no means I'm still thinking about it. He's super famous, what's it called, an agent for like a basketball, whatever, sports, go sports. And Banner, what an interesting name for a female character. We love Banner. Oh, if she had $1 for every time Jared broke her heart, she'd have exactly $1. One epic failure of a night. After parting in such bad terms, Banner has no intention of giving Jared a second chance. She found success in a field ruled by men like him. She learned to call the shots and block them when she has to. Block Shot. So this one actually seems really fun, so I am going to read the first chapter of this and see if I like the writing style. I have opinions, and I probably shouldn't share mine on the internet, right? Ooh, there's an author's note. It's important to hear Banner and the heroine speaking Spanish. Oh, as our first language. See? Okay, at least. Okay, so this is still probably going to be an interracial couple. where Banner, the heroine, is Mexican American, but we love to see it. Spanish on the page, y'all know I'm Cuban, we love to see it. Okay, let's get to reading. Okay, how many times can you say a dick is hard in a chapter? That's my question. How many times makes it too inappropriate? Because he said it a few times already. I'm just like, we get it, you find her attractive. I'm intrigued. This guy seems, he's like not giving alpha male, he's giving I'm fighting against alpha male, but also he just likes to, as he says, fuck women. And if he wants, it's just like, I have mixed feelings. Comment down below, should I try and read this? Because maybe also there's a possibility throughout the book that his attitude changes because of this woman. And that's also the ridiculous thing about romances. It's like, ooh, but Banner's different. She doesn't make me just think about like how all the other girls, I just wanted to sleep with them. No, this one's different. I have an obsession about her. I think about her all the time. It's like, so that's gonna make you less horny or less, what's it called? It's gonna make you less rude because you're like, ooh, she's a real woman, she's wifey material, so I gotta treat her with respect. Okay friends, last book I have here is a sci-fi from an author I really do like, Tochi Yamabochi, and that is Goliath. I honestly have no idea what this is about. Ooh, and we got stuff from like R.F. Kuang said that Goliath is a work of stunning, careful craftsmanship on every level. And Marlon James, we got a lot of people who saying good things about this. I like Tochi Yamabochi's writing. Goliath. What's the dust jacket say? Okay. In the 2050s, Earth has begun to empty. Those with the means and the privilege have departed the great cities of the United States for more comfortable confines of space colonies. Wow. Those left behind salvage what they can from the collapsing infrastructure. As they eke out of existence, their neighborhoods are being cannibalized brick by brick. Whoa, that's a super interesting premise. See, this is why I just need to like remind myself of like how dope these books are, you know. 2050, oh gosh darn. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, and that, my friends, wraps up this Unhaul Try a Chapter challenge. So I really quickly wanted to do kind of some superlatives of everything and tell you which book I'm gonna unhaul, because after thinking about it, there's a book here that I think I'm gonna have to unhaul, and then one that I'm really gonna ask for your guys' help to figure out if I need to unhaul it or if I need to give it a try, because okay, so let's start off with the most, I would say, curious I'm about, the most enticing has to be Sing Me to Sleep, just because in the first chapter they gave me so much to like worry for the main character over. Like, is she gonna die? She clearly likes to kill people, but like also she seems like a good person. She's trying to help her family. I am mad though because the book cover has changed and they need to stop doing that where they literally, it's a duology. Can you please just keep the two covers the same? Thank you. Ugh. Okay, next is, I'm gonna say, let's talk about writing. The one that I think had the best writing that tickled my fancy, my inner child, The Roaring Days of Zora Lily, because I think without the sirens and killing and vampires and all the extra like kind of fluff that can happen with fantasy that I deeply love and appreciate, this has a very simple story of people who are really passionate about their jobs, and I think the author took their time really expressing how much they care about these beads and how like time will fly by while they're working on this, and how they very often work from very early in the morning to very late at night without realizing, because they're just so filled with just adoration for what they do. So I just love that I read this and I felt that adoration as well, and I was right there with them, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to know what happened to this designer, like, and why did this designer take credit for this other designer? I have questions. Okay, let's talk about one where the writing maybe wasn't there. I'm so sorry. I definitely think I need to give Kennedy Ryan a chance. I don't think it's gonna be this series. I do not like how much he talked about his privates being hard. Like, okay, and Like, at least he's saying it about her intelligence, but at the same time, I don't need to hear that. Like, I can tell that you're attracted to someone, you don't have to say it that much. So let me know, because I know this is also a second chance romance, so I wonder how he fumbles. So I am a little curious, but like the writing, I just, help me. Is this a good series, or should I start with the other one? I think I should start with the other Kennedy Ryans first and just save myself the trouble. Ooh, okay. This had me curious for multiple reasons. Akatsa Woman. I think, again, this book is so good at grabbing your attention with that, like, beginner content warning, because you know how some books will be like, this book isn't for everybody, and it ends up just being a very triggering book. Didn't add to the story or conflict, it just seems like something really shocking you had to say, whereas the book warning in this, I think it's very clear and to the point, like, this girl maybe shouldn't be doing what she's doing. We are the magic department of responsibility, and we've told her before that she shouldn't do this, and she did it, and she might die, but like, that's up to you. So I just kind of like the nonchalance of this. And the first chapter was interesting, where she starts to train with her mentor on this specific power that she has. So it immediately kind of loses those stakes afterwards, so it's not like I really wanted to keep reading. Like how this one I definitely wanted to keep reading. Same with Sing Me to Sleep. Those are ones where I was like looking at the second chapter being like, what's going on? This one not as much, but I'm so curious for the character's journey in this, and obviously I've read the first 2 books in this series, so is that cheating? I don't think so. I think that's I have investment in this story and in the character, and I kind of want to know what trouble she gets into. I think that's the most exciting part about this series, is the trouble that she gets into. I would say the book that I probably most likely would pick up now and read is Goliath. I just finished Artemis by Andy Weir, and I just got Hail Mary. My sister gifted it to me. Thank you, sis. I've been really into sci-fi lately. I've been reading Dune a little every night because it's one of those stories that I love to read piecemeal, and I love that this concept of like the colonies and then coming back to Earth is like what you do when you want to be forgotten. But clearly this character wants to build something, and we follow other characters. There's so many other characters. We were introduced to a few, and they have different, in the audiobook, they have different narrators, so it's easy to follow. So I'd definitely recommend the audiobook for this if you are like me and you might get confused and be like, oh, this is a different person now. I also just love that the characters are black. To be honest, I'm gonna say that. Like, I love to see it. And the book I'm gonna probably unhaul is the most beautiful of them, Blood Debts. The story is intriguing. I don't even know how to explain it. I believe someone else would really like this story. I do love the conversation of justice and magic, and there was a little news clipping about how magical regulation would only affect people of color, the same way like with guns, how people of color are probably going to take the brunt of the justice burden and be responsible for most things, whereas other people of privilege won't even face the normal things or change their behavior, which is what we want, for everyone to be equal and whatever. So it made a lot of good points. I don't think I would like to read from their perspective as the kids. I'm just so sorry. It's just not the vibe. I read 20 pages of it too. The first chapter for this one was longer than the other ones, gave lots of details, but they're 2 young kids fighting between themselves and their past and their anxiety about losing family members and possibly losing their mom, or someone trying to kill their mom. So there's all this tension. So it's definitely layered in such a great way. I also don't like who did it stories. We have to find out who's cursing the mom, who's trying to harm their family, while following 2 siblings that are just kind of fighting and have different point of views about the world. And we already saw boyfriends, and I think there was a guy already like sleeping with our main boy character in here. I mean, they were sharing the same bed, and he was checking out his butt. So this is also very queer, which is also super exciting. But that's not something that would make me interested in this, which I feel like so many young queer kids need to see that depicted in a book to feel really seen. Like, I have many thoughts after those first 20 pages, which is good. It's not that I feel nothing towards this book. I just feel like I don't care who's cursing the mom, and I don't care about the kids rectifying their relationship. I said it. That is the Unhaul challenge. I did get rid of 1 book, might get rid of 2. I'm allowing, like, what, 48 hours for feedback for this one. Next week, I will finally fix my bookshelves, and I just vastly appreciate all of you who stayed to the end. Thank you. It means a lot to me. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!